So today we are going to do a revision on multiplication. Recall that multiplication is a fast way of adding a series of numbers. Right? So instead of adding this way, 2, right? 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, right, gives us 6. Instead of adding this way, 2 plus 2 plus 2 gives us 6. We can use multiplication, right, which is faster, to speed up the process of getting the answer. We can just take 3, right? 3 multiplied by 2, we get 6, right? So we have 3 groups of 2, right? So here we have one group, two groups, and we have 3 groups. So we have 3 groups of 2, we have 6, right? 3 times 2, right? 1, 2, 3. One group, 2 groups, 3 groups. So 3 groups, right? 3 groups of 2, right? 3 groups of 2 gives us 6, right? 3 times 2 gives us 6. So notice the pattern, right? So 2, this 2, right? These 2 plus 2, these 2 plus 2, these 2 gives us total 6, right? There are 3 groups of 2. 3 2s are 6, right? 3 times 2 equals 6. 3 times 2 equals 6. 3 2s, 3 2s are 6. The same thing for others one, for other it would be 6 plus 6 plus 6, for example, would be 18. There are 3 groups of 6, 3 groups of 6, right? 3 sixes, 3 sixes are 18. So 3 times 6, 3 times 6 equals 18, right? But this one is 4 plus 4 plus 4. We have 12, right? If you want to do it a fast way, we can just take 3 times 4, right? Because we have 3 groups of 4. We have one group here, we have another group here, and we have the last group here. So 3 times 4 is 12. Now what about this one? Same thing. How many groups we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 groups of 4, right? So what we do is we take 4 times 4 is 16, right? 4 groups of 4, right? We have 4 groups of 4, so 4 times 4, 16. We're going to learn multiplication this way. Find the total number in equal groups, right? They are equal. Each group, right? Each group is equal. Each group is 4, right? We have 4 here, we have 4 here, we have 4 here, we have 4 here, and we describe the equal groups. We describe this as 4 groups of 4, right? So let me write this down. We have 4 groups. We have one group, 2 group, 3 group, and 4 groups. Okay, so this is the same thing. Let's go to this one. So let's look at this one, multiplication. How many apples are there altogether? Use the repeated addition. This is the repeated addition. And multiplication. This is the multiplication to get the answer. So for this example, we can see that we have 2 here, right? So we put here 2, right? So we have 2 here, put here 2, we have another 2 here, we have another 2 here, and we have another 2 here. So in total, how many do we have? We can just, if you want to find out how many apples are there altogether, we can just add them, right? We can just add them. We can just take 2, right? Plus 2 is 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8, right? We can just add up everything and we can get 8. Or we can use multiplication to speed up the process of getting the answer. We can just say we can just say there are four groups of two, right? Four groups of two. So we know that four twos equals 8, right? So let's look at next one. So we have here same thing. If we do it using repeated addition, we can get the answer, but it won't be that fast. So let me put this one here. Okay, so this is the first one. Then we have this one, this one, and this one. So if we add up all the groups, we have 3 plus 3, 6, 6 plus 3, 9, 9 plus 3, we have 12, 12 plus 3, we have 15. So we have a total of 15, right? We have a total of 15 here. Or we can use a faster way, right? Instead of repeated addition, we can use multiplication to find the amount of apples, right? To find out basically how many apples are there altogether, right? We can find it faster using multiplication. So what I do is I first need to know how many groups we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 groups, right? We have 5 groups of 3, right? Because we have 3 apples here, right? 1, 2, and 3. So we have 5 groups of 3. So 5 threes equals 15, right? So 5 times 3 equals 15. So we have that done. Now let's move on. This one is the same thing. If you want to find out how many apples are there all together, we could have just add them up, right? We could have just take this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the 5, right? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10 here, right? So we could have just add them all up together. 5 plus 5, right? Or we can use multiplication, right? Two groups, right? We have one group here, another group here, right? Another group here, we have one group here, another group here. So we have two groups of 5. 2 times 5 equals 10. So this is how you get your answer faster by using multiplication. Okay, so now let's try this one. Okay, this is also multiplication. So we have here what? We have two groups of 4, right? So let me use, okay. So we have two groups of 4. We have one group here, right? Another group here, right? Two groups of 4, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? We have two groups of 4. We have two fours. 2 times 4 equals 8, right? Now, what about this one? This one we have how many groups? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, right? We have four groups of 2, right? Because we have 1, 2 here. Four groups of 2, we have 4 twos. 4 times 2 equals 8, right? So we notice that 2 times 4, right, is 8. And we have 4 times 2 also equal 8. So what does that mean? That means that we have, we can actually change the place, right? It doesn't matter where you put the 4 and the 2. When it comes to multiplication, right, 2 times 4 equals 4 times 2, right? 2 times 4 equal 4 times 2, because 2 times 4 gives us 8, right? 2 times 4 gives us 8, and 4 times 2 also gives us 8. Now let's do this one. So this one is, we have, this one you can see that this is the, using a line, right, a number line to do multiplication, but you can really see this as a, you can also see this as groups of 6, right? We have one group of 6, two group of 6, three groups of 6, four groups of 6, right? So four groups of 6, four groups of 6, four groups of 6, 4 sixes, 4 times 6 equals 24. Same thing for this one. One group, two groups, three groups, four groups, five groups, and six groups. Six groups of 4, 6 times 4, 24. Right, what do we notice? 4 times 6 is 24, and 6 times 4 is also 24. So they are equal, right? 24 equals 24, so that means 4 times 6 equals 6 times 4. So we have it here. 4 times 6 equals 6 times 4. What about this one? Okay, so this one, we have how many groups here? We have 1, 2, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So we have 6 groups of 3, right? 6 times 3, 18. What about this one? This one, we have 1, 2, 3, right? We have 3 groups of 6, right? 3 groups of 6 gives us 18, right? 3 times 6, 18. So what do we notice here? Right? We notice that 6 times 3 gives us 18. 3 times 6 also gives us 18, right? So that means that 6 times 3 equals 3 times 6. 3 times 6. So we have it here. Okay. Now, let's move on to completing the following multiplication question. So so before we do this, I'll let you familiarize yourself with the times table first, right? So we have here 1 to 5 times table, right? So 1 to 5 times table. We have here 6 to 10 times table, right? 6 to 10 times table, and we have a 0 times table here, over here. Now, notice that when you multiply any number by 0, the answer is 0, right? So 0 times 1 is 0, 0 times 2 is 0, 0 times 3 is 0, and so on. Now, notice that also that any number when multiplied by 1 gives us the number itself, right? So if we have 1 multiplied by 1, we have 1. 2 multiplied by 1, we have 2. 3 multiplied by 1, we have 3, right? Any number when multiplied by 1 gives us back the original number, right? So any number multiplied by 1 gives us the number itself, right? Gives us the number itself. Okay, so what about this one? What about 10? So if you notice, any number multiplied by 10, let's say you have 1, what you do is you just add a 0 next to it, right? If it's 2, you just add a 0 next to it. If it's 3, you add a 0 next to it. If it's 4, you just add a 0 next to it. 5, a 0 next to it. 6, a 0 next to it. 7, a 0 next to it. 8 times 10, just put a 0 next to it. 9 times 10, put a 0 next to it. 10 times 10, first you write down the 10, then after you multiply by 10, you put a 0 next to it, so you have 100. This is so this is the pattern that you need to know. Okay, so back to this. Now, so what number, when multiplied by 5, gives us 25? Right? The number should be 5, right? 5 times 5 equals 25. Right? Now, we can check here using the multiplication table. Right? So we have here 5 times 5 equals 25. Right? Now, let's do the next question. Question number 2. 7 times 3 equals what? 7 times 3 equals 21. Right? We can check using the multiplication table. Right? Here, 7 times 3 equals 21. So it's correct. Now, what number when we multiply by 2 gives us 18? Should be 9. Right? 9 times 2 equals 18. We can check over here. Right? 9 times 2 equals 18. Now, 8 times 4 equals 32. So we have here 32, and we can check using the table. 8 times 4. So we have here, right? So we have here 8 times 4 equals 32. So it's correct. So 8 times 4 equals 32. What about this? 9 times 3. So we have 9 times 3 equals 27. Right? Again, we can check using the table. So it's over here, right? 9 times 3 equals 27. Okay. And the last one, 8 times what is 40? 8 times 5. 8 times 5 equals 40. Right? We can check over here. 8 times 5 equals 40. Right? So it is best that you memorize all of it, all the tables. Right? If you memorize all the tables, it's faster for you when you do the problem solving, right? Okay. So now let's do this. Okay. Let's do the final one. Multiply and write the answer in the box, right? 3 times 0. What is 3 times 0, right? Any number when multiplied by 0 gives us 0. Right? We learned that. 3 times 0 is 0. What about this one? 5 times 10. So first you write down the 5, right? Then you write down the 0 next to it. So we have 50. 5 times 10 equals 50. Right? Like I said, any number multiplied by 0 gives us 0. Right? Just now we learned that any number multiplied by 0 gives us 0. Now what about this one? Any number multiplied by 1 gives us the number back itself, right? So 4 times 1 equals 4. So we have here 4, right? So 1 times 10, again, we first write down the 1. So we write down 1. And then put a 0. Since it multiplies with 10, you just put a 0 next to it. So 1 times 10 is 10. What about this one? First, 7 times 10. So every time you multiply a number with 10, you first put down the number first. Here is 7. After that, you put the 0 next to it. So 7 times 10 equals 70, right? Now, we still have the last question here. Any number multiplied by 1 gives us the number itself. So 6 multiplied by 1 gives us 6. Right? Okay. So we are done. And we can check this. We have 3 times 0 and 0 times 9. So we can go back to here, right? 3 times 0 is 0, right? 9 times 0 is 0, right? So it's correct. Any number when you multiply by 0 gives us 0, right? And any number multiplied by 1 gives us the number itself, right? So we have here 6 multiplied by 1 is 6, right? So if we move down here, 6 multiplied by 1 is 6, and we have here 4 multiplied by 1 is 4, right? Now what about the tens? Right? What about when you multiply with tens? Right? 1 times 10 is 10, 7 times 10 is 70, right? And 5 times 10 is 50, right? So let us check for this one. See, any number that multiplies with 10, you just need to write the number first, right? And then you add the 0 next to it. So we're done. So we have 7 multiplied by 10 is 70. So we're done. Okay.